Okay, we're with Mark Munro, Chief Executive of Scottish Athletics. Mark, this week we're looking ahead to the FBSG age groups coming up this weekend. Good to see 800 athletes on the start lists.
Yeah, it's a great number, and I think if you look at the last few years, those numbers between senior athletes, under 17 athletes, has been it's growing every year and absolutely fantastic, and it's real testimony to the work of the clubs and the coaches out there who are putting their athletes forward, and the athletes who really want to compete in such a wonderful venue that's behind me.
Yeah, and taking in the under 17s as well, the numbers for the 4 different age groups are over 1,100 for the indoors championships this year. Around 550 of those are under 17s and under 20s. So how important is the retention issue for the sport?
Retention's massive, and retention really tells you how healthy your sport is, and what we've seen over the last few years again is just really that increase in number of under 17 athletes, under 20 athletes who want to compete, whether it's the indoor championships, whether it's off track, whether it's in the track and field championships in the summer. Numbers are really good, and when you look across other sports, you know that's where you really understand how well your sport's doing, and again that's down to the athletes, the coaches and the clubs themselves who are really putting themselves forward.
Well, of course it is the clubs and the coaches who deliver a commitment to competition, and parents as well. Are you confident that the clubs are getting the right messages through?
Yeah, I mean, we through our communications, which you're well aware of, Peter, we put out for the last few years, competition, it's what you train for. And that is so important now. It doesn't matter whether you're an under 11 athlete who just wants to go out and have a bit of fun, or you're a social 10k competitive runner who wants to improve their personal best. It's about finding the right level for you. But ultimately, athletics is competitive, sport's competitive, so we want people to compete in the right environments.
In the under 13s and under 15s this year, we found that the girls' numbers are particularly high. Athletics really should be a sport for all, and we are seeing a good rise in that sense. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate. We've had very strong female role models for the last decade. If you take Lee McConnell, Ailey, Lindsay, Steph Twell, Laura, etc., fantastic role models. And actually, junior female membership within Scottish Athletics is the highest membership category we have. And I guess if you look across other sports, I think that's it's very uncommon for that to be the case. So I just think through the right role models, clubs working really hard to create the right environment and keeping them engaged, keeping them competing through 17s and 20s, I think that's where we're seeing success.
Well, of course, we don't neglect the younger age groups either, and this Saturday it'll be a big day for the under 13s with their indoor national championships, and then a few weeks later we've got hundreds of under 12s coming for the super teams, and I believe under 11 competition at the right level is something being looked at as well.
Yeah, one thing when we looked at our competition review last year, one thing that came back was what we're doing for under 11s, because it's important that we do get under 11s competing. And I don't mean A and B strings in leagues on this and a Scottish Championship for under 11s. It's about how do we get them introduced to competition at the right level so they're having fun. Team elements key at that age group. So what we've actually done over the last number of months is pull together a new national framework for under 11 competition. So that'll be going out in the coming weeks as well. But again, that's the clubs have inputted in that and really helped us develop that and shape it.